Hey, child. You know me? It's Funky Dineva, urban pop culture critic, your internet best friend, and all around fabulous. Let me tell y'all something. My skin is soft, supple, paid for, and smelling like a whole love song. Now let's start with high value. Clove, rose, and oud. It smells like when I walk into a room and people stop talking, it's not because they're scared, but because they know I'm that girl. Soft serve. Oh, she's for the soft life girls who don't have to but be legendary. Amber, jasmine, saffron. It's giving warm towels, slow mornings, Karen White on repeat, rogue dragon on the floor. And Pharaoh's love, baby, vanilla, white lily, and musk that lingers. It's giving brunch at 1, nap at 3, stretching on 1,000 thread count sheets. I don't need a crown, just this souffle and a playlist. And today, I smell like a mood, a memory, a damn good decision. Body souffle, baby, from butter.
Y'all hoes at work. Not me, girl. Let me tell y'all something. After the weekend that we had this weekend, I didn't even want to come to this shit today, okay? Coupled with the fact that I have traveler's diarrhea. You know how they tell you when you go over to another country, don't drink the water. I have such a habit of brushing my teeth. The first thing I do when I wake up is I pee and I brush my teeth. That the entire time I was in the Dominican Republic, I was brushing my teeth with the water, which I have done before when I go out to foreign countries because I always forget. And y'all, it came down on my ass today. So first of all, and for those of you guys who want me to get to the topics, I'm about to spend the top of the show at least about 10, 15 minutes talking about the trip. So if you want to go get you some water, or if you want to fast forward, or you want to go get you something to eat, go ahead, because I got some business to take care of as it relates to telling y'all about the trip. And so we got back at a great time yesterday. My flight left there at 3. I got back to Atlanta at about 6. Made it home by about 7:30 after I got my car and the dogs. It had more than enough downtime to rest and be energetic today. And I could not understand why I was so tired. I slept all day today. And then I kept having to get up and do number 2. And I'm like, but you ain't ate nothing and you ain't did nothing. And literally about 45 minutes ago when I was using the bathroom again, it clicked. I said, doggone it. That's why my stomach all tore up. I ingested that water. So I read up on it. It's called traveler's diarrhea. It's not super crazy. It should pass in 1 to 3 days if it's just bacterial. Now, if I happen to have ingested a parasite, that'd be a whole different story. But I took some Imodium AD now that I figured out what's going on. And if I have to get up and run, I'll let y'all know why, because the shit come on like a hurricane. I could just be sitting here minding my business, and then it'd be like category 5, please duck for shelter, run to the bathroom, plywood is flying out my ass at 90 miles an hour, could reach up to 100,000 miles an hour in the high elevation. Anyway, so that's what's going on. Somebody said it was all that prostitution. I was safe, honey. At least I tried to be at least all but one time. But anyway, guys, the trip. So first and foremost, I have to say thank you to all the ladies and the gentlemen that came on the trip. I think every single person on that trip would agree that we could not ask for a better group of people to take this trip with. Guys, when I tell you God and the universe and the ancestors were all up and through this when it came to connecting people from all over the US, we simply put, guys, we just had a good damn time. We had a good time. It was no shit. It was no issues. It was no drama. And you know, one person said on the boat to me when I kept talking about how good of a time we were having, one person said to me, it's because we all grown. It was just that simple. And when I sat back on it, I said, you know what? That's absolutely what it is. We were all grown. I am pretty sure, as with anything, there are some people who may have had some hiccups, some complaints, or may have been unhappy about this or that, but everybody handled their shit in the spirit of being grown. Now, I'm going to tell y'all this. I ain't never got to go back to the Dominican Republic ever again in my goddamn life. That's my third or fourth time going. I ain't never got to go back to that po mouth, third world, prostitution ridden, begging ass country ever again. It's all that damn begging. And I told members of the Funky Bunch while we was there, I can't deal with all that damn begging. And what really did it for me was on day 2 for the Funky Bunch and day 3 for me, we decided to go ride ATVs. When we get to the ATV place, you have to sign your waiver and you pay your little money, whatever it was, $50, $60, $75, whatever it was. And then it took us about 30 minutes for everybody to sign their waiver and get masks for their face and get glasses or get a bottle of water, whatever you want. Okay, everybody signed their waiver. We out there about 45, 50 minutes. Then they walk us to another tiki hut pavilion where I'm thinking that they about to give us a safety briefing. Girl, we get up under there. He goes and hands us menus and wants to start talking about the different little arts and crafts that they sell. I stopped that man dead smack. I said, let me stop you right here. We don't want none of it. We don't want none of it. We just want to ride. He was like, y'all don't. Now, here is the funny thing. Then them hoes took us out to the ATVs and the Doom Buckies. They ain't give us a nan lesson on how to ride the shit. They ain't gave us a nan. Now, I'm thinking they finna take us under the tiki hut and tell us how to drive. I have never ridden a ATV before. Luckily, it was a member of the Funky Bunch in front of me who came back and taught me how to ride the shit. Okay, fine. After that, it's a tour guide, a guy in the back, 2 photographers with us. We get on the ATV tour. First thing they do, drive us to the village, drive us to one of their cousins' hole-in-the-wall shack that said empanadas and liquor. Dry begging. Then we parked, we walked down the street, and we got into the spring, the underwater spring. They had more people out there with shops selling cheap-ass trinkets and shit. More begging. The little kids was walking up to us asking us, could they have our shoes? Do we have $1? More begging. Then we left from off of that, got back on the ATVs, drove us to the beach to another one of their cousins. They had another tiki hut selling liquor. More begging. So catch this tea. We get to the beach and I tell the people, let me buy that whole bottle of Casamigos, because it was about 28, 30 of us went on the 25 of us or so went on the ATV thing. It was 20 of us. I said, let me get the bottle. How much for the bottle? The man was like $2.50. Now those are American numbers, but I'm gonna tell you something about me. I don't get mad because I don't feel like just because I'm in a third world country that I should fuck them people over. That's what I would have paid in the States. I didn't have a problem paying it, even though I knew they was getting over on me. Then had the nerve to hand me a bottle of Casamigos that was already open. The seal was already broken. So I said, I don't want this one. Can you give me that one up there that's not open? They give me the one from up there. One half of the seal was open. The other half was closed. I was like, Lord, God, we just gonna drink it and pray to God we don't die from the damn shit, okay? Then what really did it for me, and when I was over the Dominican Republic, when we got back to the ATV place to get our stuff out the locker and all this stuff, 2 different cameramen brought their phone to me where they had translated, "Can you please tip the photographer?" Here is what the problem is. And for anybody that run a business in the Dominican Republic with American tourists, it need to be a tip one time, either at the top or at the bottom situation. You cannot have every employee at the business begging for money. So at the end of the trip, I took up a collection from the Funky Bunch and I just gave it to the lead guy. When the photographer guy came over and was like looking for the tip, I said I gave it all to him. He looked real disappointed. Take it up with him, okay? I don't even have enough money in my fanny pack to go around and give each and every one of y'all $5 and $6 on a trip. Then when we get back on the bus, when we get off the bus driver holding his hat out like this when we get off the bus. And I'm sitting here looking like, now bitch, I know we paid for this bus. We paid for the bus. Whatever the people told us was the price for the bus, we paid it. So why is you begging? It was just too much damn begging for me. Them people begged me down so bad, I felt poor. And then you over there feeling bad that you ain't even got enough money to give. Oh, baby. Then the next day, when we drove about an hour and a half to the port to get on the boat. Bitch, the people would not even let us get off the damn charter bus. You know how the door on a charter bus is an accordion door and it open out like this? If this was the door, the tip of my finger was the door, this was the man standing right here. He had 50 hats on his head. All the things right here. Bitch, we just got off the bus. We have not even smelled the air yet, baby. My brain has not even processed if I even want anything from the port. Here you go begging. We get on the boat. We have an amazing time. They take us to an island for us to eat lunch. We on the island had some of the best Haitian food ever made. Here comes Spanish mommy begging. Come around here begging. Wanting to give you massages and shit. Wanting to give you pedicures. Bitch, who is you finna give a pedicure in all this damn sand? Okay? What machine, what acetone, what bleach is you walking around? Who is you finna give a pedicure to with all this sand out here blowing all over the place? Then Legra had to tell us if you let them ladies touch your shoulders one time, they gonna expect the tip. If you walk up the beach and you give them people your phone to take a picture of you, they gonna want a tip. If you let them people put that parrot on your shoulder, they gonna want it. It's just too much damn begging. And I don't spend more time talking about the people begging than I did talk about the great time we had on the trip. And I don't want this to go on too long. We had a great time, great bunch. I'm going to start doing my vlogging, and I'll talk about some more of it tomorrow because we already 15 minutes in, and I feel like my stomach about to fall out the bottom of my ass. So I at least want to give y'all 2 stories before I have to run to the damn bathroom again. But I will say this. I talked to a lot of the people on the trip. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all, this little weekend getaway was perfect. I told Legra we need to squeeze 2 or 3 of these in throughout the year. It was a Thursday to Sunday situation. Everybody only probably had to take 2 days off of work, get back, go to work Monday. It was the perfect amount of time. The itinerary wasn't jammed too packed. It was a very loose itinerary. Either you could jump in and participate if you want to, or if you didn't, you didn't have to. There were plenty of people who did not go on the ATVs with us. They didn't want to get dirty. There were some people who did not go on the boat with us for whatever reason. They didn't want to go. Here is what I will say. I always try to keep the trips low money-wise because I want to appeal to everybody. And I wanted to make the trips affordable for everybody. That's why I love the $2,000, the $2,500 price point. But I'm going to say this to y'all about this last group of girls that was on the boat. We talked about it in length on the boat. And the Funky Bunch agreed. They said, Funky Dineva, you ain't got to keep it cheap. They said, one girl told me, she said, Funky Dineva, I ain't going to hold you. Everybody on here got their coins. She said, everybody on here got their money. Everybody unanimously agreed, turn it up a notch. They was like, Funky Dineva, and I'm just telling y'all what the people said. They said, Funky Dineva, turn it up a notch. Raise the price. Not raise the price as if the money's going to me. Pick a more elevated experience. And they was like, and those that can go, go. And those that can't go, can't go. And it weeds out the riffraff. And Funky Bunch, I hate to be this way, but the next one, we got to spend a little more money, baby. I can't go nowhere where they begging. I can't go nowhere with they begging. And let's be clear here. We had an amazing trip. The people were great. The resort was fine. Everything was fine. It's the damn begging. So with that being said, I have instructed Legra, the next place we go, baby, she got to have a Four Seasons on her property. She got to have a Four Seasons. She got to have a W. She got to have a Ritz-Carlton. She got to have something like that on her property so we can have a more elevated experience where the staff know not to beg and the people gonna have their coins ready. So here's what we got going on. I already told Legra, put something back on the books for that July area for people who kids out of school. Y'all have y'all money ready. We going somewhere again in July. I don't know where we going. We going somewhere again in July. We're going to go somewhere this time of year. We're going to keep it October, November. We're going to keep it October, November. We're going to go somewhere in July. We're going to do the cruise. And then I told Legra for 27, we doing a ski trip. Now, whether we go to Salt Lake City, Colorado, Aspen, I don't know where we're going yet, but we're going to have all of those out by the top of the year so people can start making their payments. I am done trying to do the shit cheap. Y'all, the cheapest it's probably going to get is the cruise. I can't go back to no more of these begging ass countries. I can't. All of my school teachers, I'm hoping that this July will pull y'all in. Y'all can ask anybody on the trip. I was talking about, man, I got to do something for the school teachers. I got to do something. Now, Kingdom daughter, she's screaming all-inclusive, all-inclusive, all-inclusive. Don't get me wrong. I love a good all-inclusive, but that's that cheap shit with them hoes be begging at, okay? So, something got to be elevated. I can't promise you all of it's going to be, somebody said July is essence. So, yeah, I told Legra to do it at the end of the July or whatever, but we can't go anywhere where they doing all that damn begging. Anyway, y'all, that's that on the trip. My stomach will be feeling better hopefully by morning, so I'll start posting my blog, editing it, and posting photos or whatever. But we had an amazing time, and shouts out to everybody that went. All right, guys, I want to jump in really quickly. Ooh, why didn't this work? Ow, let me see. Something didn't work here. But what was supposed to go here was not this either. I wanted this to go here. This was supposed to go here. All right, y'all. So we're talking about Erika Kirk. Because this transpired while I was gone. They had whatever it is they had going on, some event where they were speaking, and Erika Kirk sends out the loudest dog whistle that any blind person or deaf person could hear as it related to uh, JD Vance. And she says that no one will ever replace my husband, but there are a lot of similarities between her husband and JD Vance. So, guys, what this was for anybody that is blind is that this was a public endorsement and a public passing of the torch. Okay? This was a public endorsement and there's a public passing of the torch. Now, I will say this, the white Christian nationals, that Charlie Kirk movement, they did a very good job. They did a very good job of mobilizing their people under the auspice of we're white Christian Republican conservatives. They did a good job of starting that movement and they want to keep the movement going. They're following the Charlie Kirk formula, which is go to college campuses, get young, impressionable minds. And then there is the embrace that could be seen and felt 300 miles away. First and foremost, that lady's hand on the back of his head and holding him like that, that is a very intimate embrace. Okay? Moms and dads hold children like that, or lovers hold each other like that. And let's be perfectly clear here. These people are extremely smart, okay? They're extremely smart. They are extremely calculated when it comes to their messaging. And this is the messaging that they wanted people to see, right? Because if we take these images independently, what it shows is the quintessential all-American, middle of America, white family. It's the blonde-haired white girl with the dad bod having slightly gray beard, everyday looking white man. Honestly and truthfully, these images right here land right down the middle of how most of white America view themselves. And I'm not going to lie to you. If you take these pictures singularly, without all of the context, it looks good. It looks good. It looks like a supportive husband and wife set to do political stuff. Now, here is the commentary that I wanted to make. And this is how you know white Christian nationalism and all of this stuff that they do in the name of Jesus, that they're full of shit. Because if your first order of loyalty was to being Christian, then all of this should bother you because JD Vance is married. But here's how you know their loyalty is to being white. Because in the midst of all of this, you have not heard a single white Christian nationalist or conservative express any kind of concern for JD Vance's wife, Usha, or Usher. I'm going to call her as Usher because I don't care enough about her to get her name right. I'm going to call her whole Usher. They don't give a damn. This looks like the white family that we love and that we want, and to hell with that Indian bitch. We didn't ever like her in the first place. We just dealt with her. And do you notice from the time JD Vance got in office, what they did? Put her ass in the broom closet. We ain't seen that lady. We ain't seen nothing. Now, is it me? Or when Biden was in office, baby, We saw Jill Biden dressed head to toe down, baby, in her suits. Where Usher and her pieces at? We want to see where Usher and her pieces at. We want to see Usher incorporate American First Lady style along with her Indian roots and heritage, bitch. We want to see some long veils with diamond flags on them. Where is Usher? And the fact that y'all white folks are rooting for this and don't give a damn about this damn lady and what it looked like suggests that your loyalty is to whiteness and to not being a Christian, because the little bit of Christian that I got in between my legs and in my butt on the left side made that whole situation uncomfortable with me. And I'm finna tell y'all what's coming next. What's coming next is Usher and JD Vance are going to silently divorce. JD Vance and that lady are going to pop up looking more and more and more like a couple, and then the reports are going to go JD Vance and Usher divorced quietly over a year ago. They're going to slide that shit in. It's going to dominate one news cycle, and then we are going to be done. And then it is really going to fortify and rile those people up, because they're getting the best of all worlds. They're getting a little piece of that Trump administration that they like. They getting their white Christian stuff from Charlie Kirk, and then she gets to slide in and keep up all that Charlie Kirk rhetoric while he gets to slide in and say some of the rhetoric and some of the Trump stuff, and they're going to have it all going on. And the sad part about it is we already see it. And white folks, y'all are so desperate to be loyal to something that's not even serving y'all in this moment that y'all gonna co-sign it and vote for it again. And then the question I then have to ask you is, how can you say you Christian and conservative and you are in support of this arranged marriage that, quiet as it's kept, I believe she was in on it? And I ain't never been no conspiracy theorist, but I will tell you this. Candace Owens, I'll offer my platform to you if you're willing to come on here and talk about the conspiracy, baby, because I ain't never really sat with you, baby, but you cannot tell me that they did not conspire to kill Charlie Kirk and their wife was in on it too. Baby, do you think if my husband, who loved me down to the ground, got assassinated the way that man did in front of general public, in front of capacity, that my ass would be anywhere right now wanting anything to do with politics, especially considering the fact that you already got the money? Bitch, I would be somewhere trying to console my babies. I would be somewhere so distraught that this game called politics took my husband. I would want nothing to do with it. I would take the money and goddamn run. I would move me and my babies to the middle of Kansas somewhere, to some small, quaint, quiet town of 800 people where the mayor is the police chief, the doctor, and the damn lover and secretary of the whole town. And I would disappear into obscurity for the rest of my damn life. That's what, and raise my babies far away from this corrupt system. That would be me, but that's what a decent person would do. Them hoes go together and they go together real bad. And if they don't go together in love, they go together on paper and in criminality. This is some low down scandal type shit, and everybody can see it for what it is. And for all of the people, and this is the last thing I got to say about it, and for all of the people that follow these damn people just eating it up, you should actually feel so disrespected that these people think you that dumb. You should feel so disrespected that these people think y'all are that dumb, poorly educated, and feeble mind that y'all are actually falling for it. But again, the cognitive dissonance. You don't mind falling for it. You don't mind being lied to. You don't mind being deceived, just as long as it continues to undergird and fortify white supremacy in your position in society. Let me explain something to y'all. Let me explain something to y'all, and something to y'all clearly. There is a page, and I don't say this often, there is a page that we can take out of white people's book, and that is their unwavering loyalty to the cause. Okay? They don't give a damn if half their family got to be collateral damage. They don't give a damn if the poor white people suffer. They don't give a damn that in the short run, if it goes against their best interest, they keep their eye on the prize, and that is to protect and maintain their position by any means necessary. And that is what they are doing. Could you imagine if we just took a fraction of being able to stay the course like them? Them hoes, baby, say we ain't even loyal to each other. We are loyal to the cause. And catch these teas. I can't even be mad because it's working for them. You can't never get mad at a bitch that's doing what psychologically what benefit them. You can't even get mad. You can stand over in a corner and pound and be frustrated, but you cannot even get mad that them people is doing what they got to do to protect and represent their interests. Moving right along, guys. We're going to go on over here to the snap, and I'm finna cuss some of y'all out about this snap, but the U.S. Department of Agriculture has told a federal court that it will use contingency funding to issue partial food benefits for November. Patrick Penn, a Department of Agriculture official, said this administration intends to deplete the SNAP contingency fund completely and provide reduced SNAP benefits. So, guys, in short, there's $4.6 billion in the contingency fund, which is less than the $9 billion that's needed to fund SNAP. So what they decided to do, guys, is just give everybody 50%. Okay. I think that's fair. In this moment, when we start talking about using contingency funds, I think it's fair. Democrats, hold your line. Here is what we know. Here is what we see. And for those of y'all who are have scarcity of food, ration your food a little longer. Don't eat to get stuff. Eat to curb the hunger pains. Hold on just a little longer. Here is proof. America is not going to let that many people starve, okay? America is not going to let that many people starve. Democrats, hold your line. And I know that this is bringing a lot of people a lot of duress, a lot of unrest, and a lot of sleepless nights. But guys, this little bit of discomfort that some of us are experiencing is going to be far worth it in the long run if we let them get away with what they're trying to get away with canceling out all y'all damn healthcare. All you doing is deferring hunger for death. They have showed us that them hoes ain't as strong as they said they is. They not gonna let this many Americans starve. They not gonna let this many white Americans starve. They not gonna let this many white Americans starve. They gonna jerk y'all around with this 50%. They gonna find the rest of the money. They gonna find the rest of the money for the snap. Do I think this holdout gonna drag out a little longer? Absolutely, it's gonna drag out much longer. And unfortunately, I hate that it's affecting people real bad. But it's this is just the time we live in. It has to happen. Guys, it's hungry today or dead tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, landlords, bill companies are working with people. And I get it. I know landlords got bills to pay, but for those people that's working and affected by the government shutdown, landlords, listen to me and listen to me clearly. Y'all know those people finna get there when the government opens back up eventually. The people getting all their money, and hopefully you have an outstanding tenant who will, an upstanding tenant who will give you all the back pay. It ain't like these people don't have money. Their money is just being held up. Some people vote in their midterm elections tomorrow, y'all. We just got to hold on a little stronger. If you are a landlord in need of your rent, please call your mortgage company. Let them know what's going on and ask them, can they put them 2 or 3 mortgage payments on the back end of that loan? Work with people. If you are in a position to work with people who are affected by the government shutdown, please work with these people because it's hard out here for these people. Now, this is the second thing I want to say. I did a post earlier today where I was asking people, put how much you get in food stamps in your Cash App in the comments. And then for those of us who want to help, go under the post and just put me $50 up under the person's post. And I only ask people to share what they donated to make sure that one person doesn't get over donated to and some people get skipped. You can donate to whoever you want to. I want to share something with y'all black people because some of y'all get on my damn nerve. The amount of y'all who either got in my DMs or got in my comments and was talking about, Funky Dineva, you need to vet people, or Funky Dineva, you need to make them send a letter of eligibility. Why are y'all like that? Seriously, like my daddy used to be like that sometimes when it came to like donating. Like if somebody died at his job and they were taking a collection for the funeral, he would just get all up in arms and be like, I don't know that person that's taking the money. They could be scamming. Let me explain something to y'all. Why do you care? Especially when you're talking about you donating $20 or $50 or $100. Why do you care? And some of y'all are too busy blocking your own blessings trying to legislate somebody else's. You blocking your own blessings. I donated about $400 on the post. To be honest with you, I don't give a damn what they do with it. Okay? If somebody got on there and they lied and they took that money in a dishonest place, that is between them and God. I did my part. I did my part. I gave with good intention. It's not about what the end user's intention is. It's about what your intention is. Let me repeat that for people in the back. It's not about what the end user's intention is. It's about what your intention is. And that's what God recognizes. God ain't got time for you to be sitting around somewhere siphoning and worrying about what they doing with it. Or if somebody lied, that is their business and their karma. Same thing with people on the street. I notice y'all do that shit. I ain't giving it no money. All they finna go do is buy drugs. That's not your business. It's not your business. You give because it's the right thing to do. And you let God worry about that part. I'm just and it goes to show that psychologically as a society, and black people, we ain't no better than white people when it comes to this. We have this thing, and I'm talking to me too, because I used to be this way too. We want to dictate and punish poor people at every drop of a dime. The jokes we make. They shouldn't be buying crab legs with food stamps. They shouldn't be buying steaks with food stamps. We psychologically, if many of us are being honest, we have a thing about wanting to make people who are doing worse than us suffer. We got to unpack that as a society, guys. We have to unpack that. I'll be honest with you. I'm living too good and eating too goddamn good to be worrying about what a bitch got in her basket on Snap. Because I'm too busy over here praising the Lord that I don't even qualify for the shit. I'm so far from qualifying for Snap that I don't give a damn what a bitch with Snap do with theirs. That's how far removed from that whole life I am. I'm so far removed from a life where a bitch got a scam for $40 that I really don't care. I am so far removed and so blessed from a life where I gotta jump on an influencer Instagram page and put my Cash App up knowing I don't need the money. I'm so far removed from that, I don't even care that people getting on there frauding. Because I'm so far removed from it. Now, Carl Dungy said, she said, that's easy. Hold on, what she say? Here we go. She said, that's easy for you to say because you have the money to waste. Don't manipulate me into helping you if you had bad intentions. I work hard for my money. And again, you are missing the point. Whether they do something bad with the money or whether they do something good with the money, your account is still short $20. The net effect to you is zero. The net effect to you is zero. Carla Dungy. The net effect to you is zero. Rather they take the $20 you donate and they stick it up their ass or they go buy some groceries with it. When you drive off, your account is still short $20 damn. And I'm gonna take it a step further, and you ain't gonna like what I'm about to say. And if your wallet is this hard and you work this hard and you making that much of a sacrifice to give somebody this little measly ass $20, if it mean that much to you and you work that hard, that also suggests to me, sis, you ain't got the mental time or energy to be worrying about what the hell somebody else doing with that $20 damn. If you that hard up for that $20 damn, and it's not about manipulating you into giving to somebody with bad intentions, because I don't want y'all to give to nobody with bad intentions. But if you that hard up that you giving somebody that $20 is going to bring you to chorus if they did something wrong with it, it seems to me that your efforts and your mental energy would be better suited doing something to get you out that hole, because you worrying about the wrong goddamn thing if you work that damn hard for your money. Stop being an asshole and stop trying to reverse engineer a reason to police people. Again, you focusing on the wrong damn thing. It's not about them. It is about you. God will reward you for your good intentions. But once again, like Carla demonstrated, you're too damn busy worrying about what they doing over there. You're going to fuck around and miss your blessing, Carla. I'm just trying to tell you, from somebody who don't play down here in the physical world, for somebody who stay playing double dutch up here in the spiritual land, take it from somebody who stays playing up here. You wasting your time worrying about worldly things, baby. Now, you could do with the information what you want to do with it, but you wasting your time. Moving right along. Moving right along. China, let me explain something to y'all. When it comes to society, China has the absolute best. And I follow a TikToker one time that talked about oppression, right? And so she talks about different societies. And she was like, your oppression and your outlook on society will be shaped on whatever your society's history was. So she used the US and some other developed countries like us. And she says, part of our generational trauma is the fact that we had too much government telling us what to do, telling us how to be, telling us how to live. She says China, on the other hand, their generational trauma comes from the fact that they had no government and that everything was lawless and chaotic. And because of that, they welcome government. They welcome structure because, again, their biggest fear is going back to a unstructured society. With that being said, China passes a new law requiring influencers to have degrees to discuss serious topics online. God damn it. America, if we could only adopt an iota of the way the Chinese society thinks as a collective. Okay. Now, this would never fly in America because then y'all hoes would get to screaming freedom of speech and all this type of stuff. Then y'all hoes would get to want to start downplaying college. And oh, I know people who didn't go to college. That's smarter. Y'all hoes would find a way to wiggle out of every reason to be credentialed when you open your mouth talking about shit that you ain't qualified to talk about. Baby, I think that this is a beautiful way for many societies to conduct business. You should not just be all loosey goosey on the internet discussing topics that you are not qualified to discuss. Now, if you want to talk about pop culture, if you want to talk about celebrity comments, if you want to talk about, lifestyle stuff, so be it. Knock yourself out. Okay. But when you start getting into the nitty gritty of history and politics and financial planning and medical and stuff, baby, you got to have some credentials because you out here misinforming the public. But catch these teas. Catch these teas. This would never fly in America because most of our political infrastructure is designed on misinformation. Could you imagine what the Trump administration and all the stuff he's done on social media would be like? Would be like, uh, oh, I love when somebody try to get smart in the comments and then they end up making themselves look dumb. Do you have an economics? You have a degree in economics, so why do you talk about politics? Is somebody gonna let this? Is somebody gonna let this po baby know that economics is the biggest part of politics? Anybody gonna let this po baby know? Po baby, you thought you ate with that one, but that po baby said you got a degree in economics. I gotta change this background so y'all can see. But that Derrick Holmes, that po baby said you got a degree in economics. So why do you talk about politics? Oh, po baby. We gotta coddle our youngsters, guys. We gotta coddle our newbies. It's all economics, Derek. It's all of it. It's about nothing but economics. And even if it wasn't like all about economics, because it is, but even if it wasn't all about economics, like economics would still be the largest part of it. Oh baby. Oh baby. It's this American school system, and this is why we need to adopt more of what China got going on. This is because we get po babies like this that just the impulse that they can't control the impulses. The impulse control. Just want to say something. Just want to say something. Then you blurt out something and it's just the whole wrong thing. And then you make yourself look like a whole idiot in front of 8,300 people. But I just got a degree in economics. What do I know? This is why we need those United Negro College Fund commercials back. Because a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Derek, everything we going through right now is economics. Inflation, recession, cost of living, percentages of people on SNAP versus those who aren't, farm prices, giving our agricultural imports and exports to Argentina, tariffs going on in China. Baby, little boy, little, all of that is economics. All, all of this is economics. Government shutdown, economics. People without SNAP, economics. Tariffs on China, economics. donors on campaigns, economics. Modani winning New York and rich New Yorkers deciding that they're going to move out if he wins, economics. Elon Musk and the Doge department at the government, economics. Interest rates, economics. You tried to eat and you got ate up, po baby. And you lucky I feel like a great uncle today and not a raunchy bitch named Shanika off the side of the street. I'm going to say this and I'm going to say this with love. Don't let it happen again, little boy. The grown folks in here talking. Go on back out there with the kids. Stop looking in our mouth when we in here talking. Go on back out there with the kids. Moving right along, Derek.
I knew that if I made the money,
I want to move to this next story, guys. And this involves economics too, because it has to do with the sex trade. Now, guys, I have said this before that, you know, I'm not necessarily proud of it, but when it comes to this sex trafficking stuff, I am still very blind. I am still very naive because I still don't understand a lot of it. And I still don't understand how so much of it goes on up under our noses and we don't see it. But I chose this next story because this is a story of a young man that got pushed into sex trafficking. He got kidnapped, drugged, and pushed into sex trafficking. And now I'm starting to understand a little more about the sex trafficking, that there is a drugged up component of it, that they drug these people and these people be out of their mind. But take a listen to how two women lured this young man into sex trafficking and they was making him have sex with crackhead people. Take a listen.
I knew that if I made the money, they would keep making me work for them. They would keep me around. So I just tried not to sleep with anybody.
Only on 13 right now, a man tells us that two women kidnapped him at gunpoint and forced him into sex work.
For almost a week, he says that he was held captive in a room of a motel on Cypress Station right near FM 1960. The man told us one of his friends lured him by saying that he could make some money. She's one of the two women who are charged.
I knew that if I made the money, they would keep making me work for them. They would keep me around. So I just tried not to sleep with anybody.
Okay, as you saw there, we are not showing his face in order to protect his privacy. He says the second woman who's charged in this case signed him up on an escort site. He told us he was able to escape the motel room after 6 days by hiding a cell phone and then texting his aunt.
Wow. And so what this did open my eyes up to is the fact that a lot of people who get involved in sex work, it is always going back to the reverberating theme of this show, economics, right? It's always economics. I'll never forget the show The West Wing. The West Wing has some of the best writing of any TV show ever. And there was a scene on there where I think it was Alice and Janie, but it was somebody who was talking about prostitution. Here we go. I can't even believe I'm about to do this. She was talking about prostitution. And she said prostitution is economic coercion. That, in short, there is not a little girl alive that ever woke up and said, I want to be a prostitute. That has never been anybody's dream. And even the most, I'm proud to be a prostitute, I'm proud to be a hoe, I'm proud to do sex work. Even the proudest of people who participate in sex work do it from a place of survival and economic coercion. So this young baby needing some money, a friend said you could make a little extra money if you get on this escort site, economic coercion, somehow got sucked into all of this where they were drugging him up. And when you read the text of the article, they were saying they were making him have sex with crackhead-like people. Now, I'm going to take this a step further. I can 1000% understand how a man could coerce people into prostitution. I don't understand how women can do it. I don't understand how a woman could be a madam. I don't understand how a woman could trap other women into prostitution. I don't understand how women could use violence against other women to get into prostitution. And this saddens me. And yes, I put a little more responsibility on women because women are mothers and women are nurturers. And I'm not too dumb to the point where I can't recognize, well, they're probably desensitized to it because they did it to them and they messed up too, and drugs. I get all of that. But it is a sad day when you see women luring people into prostitution, because the reality of the situation is you are not even willing to do what the people up under you are doing. And it's so funny, and I don't know that I've ever said this out loud. That is why I was so uncomfortable when Mama D came out on Love and Hip Hop in the very beginning, was talking about she was a pimp. Because I don't understand for the life of me how you could facilitate an activity that you'd be unwilling to participate in. How you would be and to use fear and intimidation to get somebody to partake in an activity that you wouldn't even be willing. And so some people say in the comments says women are the worst at sex crimes than men. I could see that because there is a trust factor when it comes to women and other people. Tiny, Diddy, Mama D, allegedly all them. Anyway, we're gonna move right along. Guys, Blueface don't got out of jail. And I did not even want to do this story because I did not want to participate in what I'm about to talk about. And that is the perpetuating of all things that are Blueface and Chrisean. The boy only been out a half a day of jail yet, and him and them and that threesome they having with that Mexican lady that's shaped like a chicken nugget and a tamale at the same damn time is already penetrating our internet already. The Mexican lady, she don't appreciate the fact that Blueface and Chrisean is at Chuck E. Cheese with her kids, and she didn't get no permission. And here's what the Mexican lady had to say.
Yeah, just PSA, I didn't approve for no crackhead bitch to be around my kids, so I hope everyone's in the same place when I arrive. I'm on the way. I'm on the way.
I have got to be one of the only people on earth that when I'm going through a domestic issue, I'm trying to make sure my phone ain't on. I'm trying to make sure I ain't nowhere near the record button. I'm trying to make sure I hung up the phone with customer service fish. I'm trying to make sure I hung up the phone with whoever it was I was talking to. why people don't like to keep their household business in their house? When Whitney Houston said, "I believe the children are the future," that bitch put a curse on all of us. Because if these is the children, that's the future, the Saints might as well come marching in today. Quiet as it's kept. If these is the children, that's the future. Y'all might as well just let Donald Trump finish tearing up the damn country and we just go to nuclear war with Korea. Because society as we know it is over. Society as we know it is over. You jumped on the internet to tell us that. Like, girl, you should have been putting on your shoes and trying to back out your driveway to go get your kids if you was worried. And it's funny because now the Mexican lady done set it off. Now Chrisean gonna respond tomorrow. Then Blueface ain't even did what all he got to do to let us know he out of jail. Then Carlissa finna get all... At this point, it ain't even Chrisean for me. It's Carlissa finna get all in it. Then once Carlissa get in it, it's just really gonna be a mess. Then somebody gonna interview Blueface or whatever. And then Carlissa gonna have something to say about that. And then Chrisean gonna say something. And then the Mexican girl gonna say something to Chrisean. And then Chrisean's sister Tashiki gonna say something. And then Natalie Nunn gonna say something. And then Zeus gonna get on the internet. And the next thing we know, in like 37 days, we gonna have a trailer from a new show on Zeus with Chrisean, that Mexican lady, them sisters, Blueface, and Carlissa gonna all be on there fighting. Then Tia Kemp gonna be on all the blogs in the world side hip hop, licking her teeth and going off on everybody. Then they gonna put the Mexican girl on baddies. Then the Mexican girl gonna get pregnant again, or Chrisean gonna get pregnant again, or Carlissa gonna come out and tell us she was sleeping with Tokyo Tony or something. And then just this projected welfare cycle is just going to rinse and repeat itself again until somebody die or somebody go to jail. I'm Worldwide Jesus. And Lemmy, this is all your fault. Lemmy, may God bring fire and brimstone on you for bringing this shit to us. Because Lemmy, you done fucked up all our lives by making these people famous. And they were the precursors to Shamar and Netta and Charles. And I don't know why, I just feel like after Blueface and Chrisean have they rebirth, then Netta and Charles gonna have they rebirth. Shamar ain't never really went nowhere, but at least Shamar doing positive stuff by spreading scoliosis awareness down to the schools while the kids clock that tea. He is a cultural phenomenon. Then they gonna do another show with Carlissa and Netta and Shamar and Natalie. And then y'all gonna get Akbar V activated. And then when Akbar, it's just gonna be a mess. What did we ever do to deserve this? And see, I liked it before we had social media because then it was like the people who wanted to participate in this, they had to go pay for a special channel and it just stayed over there. Kind of like Playboy and the porn channel growing up. When people had the Playboy and the porn channel, they paid for it, they watched it. The rest of us didn't have to be impacted by it. We finna be so impacted by this, y'all, and we ain't even cleaned up Jamaica yet. The way these people finna run us off the road with this mess. Oh, good God Almighty. Moving right along, y'all. Julia Fox. Now, Julia Fox, y'all, done went down there. I don't like this one bit. I think that this is one of the most disgraceful, disrespectful things anybody could ever do. And, you know, it's funny how I always have the stories in no rhyme or reason, but they always flow from an energy perspective. Julia Fox is no different than the aforementioned people I just talked about in terms of clout chasing, wanting attention by any means necessary. I don't give a damn what world any of y'all live in. This will never be okay. This will never be okay. And the fact that your moral compass is so flawed that you executed this shit, and I'm not gonna lie to you, you executed it down to the bone. And here is the gag. The gag is, Julia Fox, with your beauty and the juxtaposition between royalty and regalness and the whore that you are, you still would have made all the blogs for simply dressing up as a classy white woman, because that you are not. You still would have made all the blogs for dressing up as a classy woman, because you're so far from it that we would have been like, oh my God, she really did put on a Halloween costume. She dressed up as somebody with class. This lady still got living relatives. This lady still has a country of people who were alive and watching television when this happened. It would be completely different if Jackie Kennedy was a character from one of our favorite Netflix shows. Then this would have been perfectly executed. It would have been all that in a bag of chips. This is some low down shit. And here is what I have to ask. What did you gain? What did you gain? Now, I will say this. Here is the beautiful thing about social media, right? Here's the beautiful thing. And here's what sucks. I'm here to tell all of my aspiring content creators and influencers. You are competing with so much low-hanging fruit that, like, antics like this are not going to last any much longer. I'm not throwing shade when I say what I'm about to say, but people who entered the game on shock value, like the way Sukiana did, because those types of displays are so readily available and so whatever, you guys are cannibalizing yourselves and it's becoming obsolete. People are starting to get tired of shock content because America has fallen so far in the gutter that we're not even shocked by anything anymore. We've seen everything. We've seen people run over with cars. We've seen people bashed in the head with hammers. We've seen everything at this point. So stuff like this is not going to last much longer, and it's only going to be quality content. And this is going to be so niche that it's going to begin to not pay. pretty soon. This was horrible. And I see people putting this, the suit is famous because it's the blood stain from the assassination. For those of you guys who don't, know the reason behind this, she was in the car when her husband was assassinated. He died. Oh, he healed over in her hands. He healed over on her and died and bled on her. That's what makes this even more atrocious and more egregious. It's just nasty to want to do this. And then there would be a difference if you were doing it in a way to uplift and educate and not associate it with Halloween, right? It'd be different if you were doing it. I mean, hell, this would have been more fitting if you would have did it after Charlie Kirk's death, and it could have been, and the messaging could have been, this is how assassination hurts families. You just did it to be exploitive and for shock value, and you going to hell. You going to hell. We're going to move right along, guys. So Russell Simmons, guys, he has settled 3 of his sexual assault accuser cases. He settled 3 of them. I'm here to tell you this, Russell. I don't give a damn how many of them you settle. You better stay your ass over there in Bali. Russell Simmons, you better listen. If your intention is to never go to jail and never have all of your money so sold up to the point where you ain't got to eat sunflower seeds for dinner, you better not ever bring your ass from over there in Indonesia or wherever the hell you was at. Because just because you settled 3, the word on the curb is you got 11 more of them that need to damn be settled. So guys, according to court filings from October 24, Wendy Franco, Lai Abrams, and Sherry Abernathy claimed the music mogul had not fulfilled the 2023 settlement agreements totaling more than $3 million. Documents stated that Simmons agreed to pay Franco $515 and Abrams and Abernathy each 1.2. Both Abernathy and Abrams accused Simmons of rape, with Abernathy alleging the incident occurred in 1983 and Abrams in 1994. Franco had publicly not shared her claims, but legal paperwork described her case as relating to physical injuries and sickness. Additional filings from early 2025 shows Simmons also owed at least $8 million combined to 3 other women. The client, I'm not gonna say all their names. While Simmons' attorney declined comment, a lawyer representing Franco, Abrams, and Abernathy told Rolling Stone the matter has been resolved. However, it remains unclear what conditions were part of the resolution and how much money they got. Here's the gag, Russell. I don't give a damn what y'all say. I didn't have to watch, nor did I have to participate. Russell, you did every single last thing they said. Every single last thing they said. This 3 and it's another 8 piled on. 3, 8, that's 11. If you ain't do all 11 of them, bitch, you did 3 of them. And 3 is enough. It's just, there's just no world where this many women come out with this type of story and your ass did not do it. Okay? You did it. You did every single word of it. And if I was you, your ass might want to stop praying to a Christian God and stay your ass over there and pray to Buddha, because Buddha might let your ass in the heaven. But the Lord I serve damn sure ain't. Moving right along, guys, to our second to last story of the evening. Millie Bobbie Brown from Stranger Things. She has filed a bullying complaint against her co-star, David Harbour, who is 50. Now, Millie Bobbie Brown is 21. David is 50. Brown has filed a formal complaint alleging harassment and bullying by her co-star. According to the report by the Daily Mail, the complaint was submitted before production began on the show's 5th and final season. A person familiar with the matter told the outlet that Brown filed a harassment and bullying claim before they started shooting the last season. There were pages and pages of accusations. The investigation went on for months. The allegations reportedly did not include any claims of sexual misconduct. Neither Brown nor Harbour's representatives have issued public comments, and the show's streaming services Netflix has declined to respond. The 5th season of Stranger Things is expected to premiere November 26th. All right, guys. So here's the thing, right? We don't know what happened. We don't have any details. Maybe this happened on set previously. Maybe it didn't. She filed the claims before they started filming the last season. It could be preemptive. It could be he bothered me on set all of the different seasons. I'm filing this claim before we go into the new one because I want some protections and I don't want to be bothered with this gentleman. Now, here's what I'm going to say. As somebody who has spent sometimes on movie and TV show sets, when we begin to hear stories about people don't get along and this person was bullying this person and this person had a horrible time, I really don't get it, right? Because for those of us who've ever worked on set, set is a very busy place for 10, 12, 14 hours. You get on set in the morning, PAs buzzing everywhere. They get you in the hair and makeup. You sit in that for an hour. You may go eat. The director then calls for you to come on set to do your scene. You do your scene 7 different times so they can catch it from 7 different camera angles. Hair and makeup person may come over and fix you up. The director may want to change. There's always a lot going on set. So much so to the point where I don't understand many times how people can't just come to work, do their job, and go home. Whenever I'm on set, I'm so focused and preoccupied with doing what I'm doing. You don't even have a lot of time to get into it with folks like this. Again, we don't know if the bullying happened on set or off set, but the alleged bullying. But this is sad. Hopefully, it doesn't spill over into the final season of Stranger Things and that we get a good season that's unaffected by all of this. But it saddens me to know that something happened, and I'm wishing all parties the best because we need our Stranger Things. And last but not least, guys, oh Lord, I got a story thrown off. This was supposed to be, well, let me get y'all this story. This story was supposed to be, hold your line. We got 2 more stories. I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and make this. This is supposed to be monkey. And let me hit monkey. Oh, I coded the story wrong. Well, anyway, I was going to do the story about that final monkey in Mississippi was found. And it was a black mom that found the monkey and killed it. It was not a lot eventful there, but this will be the last story, guys. So MAC Cosmetics will start to be sold in Sephora, guys. I think that this is a great move. Now, this signals that we're probably going to see the closure of a lot of MAC stores. I talked to one of my good friends today that works for MAC, and he informed me that he's been severed from the company after being there for 20 something years or almost 20 years, that he's been severed from the company because they were consolidating and they offered him a promotion that did not offer the pay that was commensurate to the amount of work that he'd have to be putting in, and he opted out of it, and they opted to sever him. But the Estee Lauder company just announced that MAC Cosmetics will be available in over 500 Sephora stores. The move builds a successful MAC partnership with Sephora in Canada and Europe and marks the brand's first major launch in Sephora stores in the U.S. MAC makeup will be offered at Sephora at Kohl's locations and on the retailer's website. This strategic collaboration is the result of years of successful partnership with Sephora global markets, and we are proud to debut MAC Cosmetics in Sephora USA, and I'm not going to read the rest. And I'm going to say this is a good thing, right? This is why, because here is what has happened with the makeup girls. And I'm a man and I'm speaking on this. Y'all don't no longer just wear one product. A lot of y'all are in the chat saying who still wears MAC. Because MAC is really good for TV and stage and all that good stuff. But my experience with you ladies have been y'all don't wear one brand of makeup anymore. Y'all are not loyal to one brand of makeup anymore. Y'all like to bounce around with all the various makeup products, thus being in a store that offers multiple products works much better than being in a store that only offers one. So I think that if Mac wants to stay alive, that this is a great way of doing it. Somebody wrote, this means that they are pulling out of Ulta. I didn't know that they were in Ulta. Granted, I would not know. Somebody else said a recession indicator. But you guys can definitely expect to see more standalone Mac stores closing. You might even can expect to see some like small booths within major stores closing. Like here in Atlanta, they have a Mac store that's like on a little annex side of Macy's or whatever. I can see a world where that, excuse me, ends up closing. Nevertheless, y'all hoes better get your Mac, get what you want, or go get it from Sephora. And I need to eat, but I feel like I got a boo-boo again. Anyway, y'all stay up. I'm finna get off the line and have a good time, and I'll call y'all later. Bye.